sad go-to.
It is.
The fact that their go-to is that they hurt one of our players one time is such a sad way to go.
God.
Alan Lazard. Yeah, you try to put him down low because maybe you won't see him.
John, any last words before we hop off here?
Go Pack, go, baby.
Go Pack, go. The one thing that's keeping me from taking the Packers to win by 30.
I don't care if you go to every game, what game. Not only that, but you are in the second row.
Yeah.
The second row, and you're going to try to tell me to sit down? Get lost.
Get freaking lost.
Yeah.
Thank you all for tuning in, commenting. We love chatting with you guys. Enjoy the game. Check us out on Twitter, at Rob Westerman3 for me, at JBeckman30 for John. Have a great rest of your day. Let's get a win, and let's go freaking bear hunting, all right? We'll catch you guys later. Thank you. What is going on, everybody?
I'd rather not have a recap, thanks.
I am Rob Westerman of GBP Daily. Joining me today, alongside me to talk about yesterday's gutting defeat, Johnathan Beckman. John, what's your vibe right now? Are you devastated? Are you surprised? Are you not surprised? How are you feeling?
Probably not surprised that the special teams decided to let us down because we saw that happening all year. Surprised that the offense played that poorly. Surprised that the defense dominated. So I guess that's 66.6% surprised and 33.3 not surprised.
Dave, I'm with you. I'd rather not have a recap.
And they blocked a field goal attempt at the
I'm
gun.
sorry.
Dave, I'm with you. JR, we aren't a bye week kind of team. It seems so.
It's so
hard
hard.
Off the table right now.
It's so hard to say that though we aren't a bye week kind of team. Like I totally understand that narrative now, but I mean let's also not like forget the the advantage of not having to get more players injured, which obviously didn't matter apparently.
Not at all.
And then I mean I know you get that flow going when you keep playing, but at the same time, I mean it's one more chance to lose. I mean it really is.
Yeah.
You might disagree with me.
I don't disagree. I think you're right. It's just
it's one more thing that can go wrong when you have to play an extra game. So I get it. I totally do. And that, that getting rolling. But at the end of the day, dude, all you got to do in a game last
business and not be catastrophic on any side of the ball, or special teams, defense, or offense, and we more than likely win the game. But catastrophic on offense, catastrophic on special teams, super good. Like you said before the show, you stop them on 4th and 1, no problem, but you can't stop the run on 3rd and 7 to make the game-winning field goal a little harder.
Be more like 50 yards instead of 45,
yeah,
which might not have made a difference, but it might have. Because they were saying before the game that 50-yard field goals were kind of out of the question.
Yeah. So no, man, yeah, man, just absolutely tough. We talked about it all season long. Special teams this, special teams that. Obviously played a huge role in the loss last night. Aaron Rodgers played one of his worst games as a Packer. Throws that were either off target or even the ones that were completed were all at our guys' feet. It seemed like the 3rd and 11, he forced a Devontae in double coverage. Alan Lazard was wide open across the middle of the field. Like you said, at the point of the throw, maybe he wasn't wide open, and maybe he wouldn't have had time to sit for another second to let him come open. That's
one thing that's going to be lost in that picture that's going to be sent all over the internet. Don't just stare at the fact that Alan Lazard was 8 yards wide open, because when Rodgers threw the ball, if you watch it, he was just behind the safety. Now, granted, Rodgers could have seen that and let it open up, but when he threw the ball,
maybe he didn't have time. Maybe
well, he didn't have time all night.
No,
but
the line played just horrific.
So, well, then my other kind of question is that it seemed like Green Bay went away from a lot of the quick game stuff that they've been doing all year.
Yep.
But then in Rodgers' press conference, he was saying they were taking away a lot of the quick stuff. So, I mean, we can sit here and say that watching the TV copy, but at the end of the day, that guy, he probably knows what he's talking. They've probably talked about it, right?
Yeah.
But it's just the offensive line couldn't hold up versus that D line when you're out without 2 All-Pros. Once again, David Bakhtiari's injury.
Big shuffle. Billy Turner's playing left tackle for the first time all season. Dennis Kelly's in there. Signed him late in the offseason.
There was one play, Dennis Kelly, dude, got beat by Bosa. I don't know if you can visually remember it, but he just it was like almost nothing, and he just fell straight to the ground and
It just sucks.
It actually might have been the fumble where Rodgers fumbled at the end of the first half. I can't remember what happened.
We recovered, yeah.
I just remember that Dennis Kelly was just like, dude, like, come on.
Things that don't ever happen. Like Mercedes Lewis loses a fumble for the first time since 2013. These type of things never happen, but always seem to happen in the biggest games for us. It's just downright disgusting. You got a couple keys from last night that led to the loss you want to talk about?
Keys to the
There's so many, which is just so unfortunate.
There's so many, and here's the thing is, and obviously Rodgers didn't put on his Superman cape last night. He didn't play his greatest game. Everyone's gonna say, "Oh, in the biggest game, he didn't make it happen." But let's not get it wrong. I slightly disagree with you. I don't think he played terrible by any means. I think he had 3 or 5 plays where he either didn't make the throw or he just maybe made a bad read, and that's gonna happen. Let's not pretend that he was like, throwing interceptions, fumbling the ball because of him, holding on to the ball maybe too long. Although maybe we'll see in the next coming days on the All Pro 22. But But it's just like 22. You have to. I'm sorry, in a game that is low scoring, it is unacceptable for the special teams to be the issue of giving up a touchdown. Getting sacrificing a blocked field goal and then giving those big kickoffs. It's just one of those things this game could have been 23-7 and we'd be sitting here talking about, a really hard fought game. We didn't play our best game, but now with the defense playing this well, I really like our chances next week. That's what we would be saying, but the special teams changed the narrative regardless.
Yeah. Overall, man, just a painful. We had everything in front of us. 60 49ers coming to town, Lambeau Field. It was snowing. It was cold. Is it time to put home field advantage in cold weather games at Lambeau to bed?
I mean, I guess to a point. But to be fair, that argument of like in those big games, maybe it hasn't gone so well. I mean, I would definitely say it's not the advantage that it, seemed to be at one point, but at the same time, like they showed the stat last night, and like Rodgers is still 24-8 in games below 32 degrees. So it's like, yeah, it's not as big as what people say, but at the end of the day, a 3-1 win ratio is anyone would take that.
Right. No, I'm with you. Packers have lost 7 home playoff games in the last 20 years, more than any other team during that span. Yeah, kind of not the greatest stat, but it also goes to show like we probably have played more home playoff games than like every team in the league besides the Patriots and maybe a couple others, the Steelers maybe.
And the Giants loss in 11 was to the Super Bowl champion. The Buccaneers was to the Super Bowl champion. The 49ers would have been the Super Bowl champion. I think the one year.
But 1 year they were playing the Ravens.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. To be honest with you, I thought they were going to win. I mean, that was a Super Bowl team. I mean, so it's not like they lost to some freaking losers,
Yeah. Chad chimes in. We were excited to come up to Green Bay, and now we will have to wait till training camp. Chad, I was everything was all but booked for next Sunday night. We were going to go up, same as you, John, go up to the NFC Championship game, witness our team go to the Super Bowl, but that didn't happen. On the bright side, maybe they would have lost last week, or maybe they would have lost next week, and we would have been there, which would have been even more painful. But Training camp, I think I'm going to try and go up during OTAs, so I won't have to wait that long, but we shall see. On Twitter here, we got Mark. Do you think Rodgers is going to come back next year? Let's talk about Rodgers. Didn't have the best game. We're officially on Rodgers watch. Is he staying? Is he going? What's that's the question that's going to be asked.
I did like that in his presser. He specifically said, "I don't want to be part of a rebuild," because he came out and said that. Although I'm sure he would tell like Gutekunst that and all them. But I mean, it's specific. I mean, and last night what I was reading could be true. His future could be tied to what they do with Devontae as well. I mean, to be fair though, like when he says he doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild, I mean, I know some of these players might not be coming back because we're in cap hell, but as of next year, contracted, and doesn't mean they're going to stay. You still have Bakhtiari, Kenny Clark, Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith, which I think we both kind of might look at as the Smith. One of them might be gone too. Aaron Jones, Adrian Amos, Billy Turner's a question mark. Rashawn Gary, Jair,
all the guys that are on.
Yeah, these are guys that are technically contracted for next year.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So like rebuild.
Yeah. Now Zadarius might be the odd man out as far as his contract, and he played great last night when he was playing.
Yeah,
but it goes to show like all week long and all like the last few weeks, we're pumped to have all these guys back. Nobody played besides Zadarius. David hasn't played all year long, which has just been a huge disappointment, not necessarily towards him, but just from a fan perspective of not being able to watch him. Zadarius played good when he was in. Jair, he missed the tackle on Debo. He tried to throw a shoulder into him. It didn't work. He didn't really play very often. Randall Cobb wasn't targeted. You didn't hear Merciless's name at all. It was a huge disappointment as far as like how much buildup went into it. And that's just that. I don't know what to think, honestly, as far as
it wouldn't have been a disappointment, Rob, if the damn special teams just wouldn't have sacked. We'd be 23-7, 27. We'd be talking about how good the defense played, talking about how the offense needs to get better, but we know that they can also, their ceiling's way high. And that is literally the frustrating part about it. Don't get me wrong. Offense has to score more than 10 points regardless. And the defense still at the end of the game did fail. I mean, the defense did fail at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But you can't put it on them for the whole game. But the special teams, and it's not like the special teams gave up 3 points or just a little bit of field position here and there.
It was legit 10-3 with 5 minutes left and lost.
It was legit. The special teams completely disastrously collapsed. Is it a collapse though, Rob? We saw it all year. It was already collapsed and it continued to go.
They were just playing to their level.
Yep, LaFleur refused to let go of Mo Drayton, and maybe.
Yeah, what do you do? Bring it? I mean, I get it.
I don't know how that.
But at the same time, it's like just get him out of there.
Yeah, I don't know how you fix that because we're not in that position. There's a lot that goes into it, but at the end of the day, he literally refused to fire him in the public. Now, maybe behind scenes there might have been something different, but in the public eye, but that credit where credit's due, LaFleur does take a lot of blame. I mean, I will say that. He basically said it's all on me. It's all on me. It's like, dude, what happened? Yeah, hiring might have been on you. The offense playing bad is on you. But at the end of the day, those players have to execute.
Yeah. No, I'm with you as far as Rodgers goes.
Don't let a punt get blocked. Just don't let a – well, I don't know how long that field goal was. What was it, like probably 40-yard field goal?
39 yards,
yeah, don't let that get blocked. It's not like it was a 62-yard field goal and he had to wind up to nail it. I mean, there's a chip shot.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. As far as Rodgers goes, I don't know what to think, honestly. I hope he stays for obvious reasons. But whether he stays or not, like you just said, the Packers team is going to look pretty different next year. Mercedes, Cobb, Crosby, Zadarius maybe are all probably, on the block as far as maybe not being on the team. Who knows about guys like Rasul Douglas, whether he might not be on the team. Kevin King's gone. It's going to look different, and that's the reality of things.
Tunyon's contract.
Yeah, let's talk about the guys. Let's talk about the guys in the final year of their contract, John. I'll let you read them off, and I'll let you know whether I think they're staying or going.
Okay. So, I mean, it's a long list, unfortunately.
All right, let's hear it.
Devontae Adams.
Staying.
Agreed. Kevin King.
Gone.
Agreed. Tunyon.
Staying.
I agree with that probably. Shannon Sullivan.
Gone.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, we've got a lot of corner depth, so yeah, that could be. Devondre Campbell.
Staying.
I mean, what's the cost of that though? You know, what's the market value for that? An all pro. But that's the thing is, does he get paid top dollar then? Because he only had one good year? How does that work?
You shouldn't.
One good year. I mean, I wouldn't go out throwing a 4-year contract to a dude that and I don't mean to just
2 year, 10, 12 million.
Yeah, I don't want to dog.
Where's the money coming from? I have no idea. This is without cap space because I'm not getting into it.
Okay, Lucas Patrick.
Probably gone. We got Royce Newman, Ben Braid in the practice squad, Jared J.
Dennis Kelly.
Gone.
I agree with both of those last two probably. I just feel like the line, you know, they've got Runyon, Royce Newman, Meyer, Bakhtiari, and Elton Jenkins. There's 5 guys right there. If they bring back Yash, I don't know. And then they'll probably draft somebody, right? So yeah, that'd be tough. Tyler Lancaster.
Gone.
Hopefully he's not on PAT and field goal.
Right. Yeah. I think he's gone, yeah.
Yeah, I could see him being gone. Corey Bajorquez.
Stays. He's got it. He's been super good this year.
Yeah, he was solid last night too.
Yeah, he had some good punts, especially the one that we were backed up in. He punted it, and it was like 7-yard return.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully we don't have him to blame, right?
Right.
Orrin Burks, special teams. They did like
a poor special teams player. I could see him returning maybe.
Yeah, I would have said no if I didn't know that they were saying that he did pretty well on special teams this year. They thought, which is pretty good on special teams, means what? Equinemius St. Brown. Because I mean, I agree with you probably, but it, you know, maybe depending on some of these other players.
Yeah, if Cobb's gone, if Lazardo, I'm hoping will be back. Devontae and Lazard are back in MVS. Amari Rogers, who hopefully will draft somebody.
Isaac Yadim or whatever, which actually technically was not on the roster as of yesterday. So probably not back unless he's like practice squad. You know, remember when they had him going? He started before Rasul Douglas in that one game. Do you remember that? When we tried to figure out after Jair went out, I think Isaac actually started, and after like the first drive or two, they pulled him for Rasul. I'm pretty sure that's the way it went down. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the way it went on. Jack Heflin. I mean, I guess that's
already gone. Yeah.
You know, Malik Taylor.
Gone.
Randy Ramsey. I mean, who knows on that. Chris Barnes, who had a much better second half of the season than he had the first half of the season.
I hope he stays. He hits hard, and you know, with Devondre, I think they have a pretty good. You know, they pair pretty good.
He seemed much better the second half of the season. The first half was kind of Henry Black, who ended up playing last night after Darnell went out in the second half, and has played a decent amount this year.
He'll probably stay. I mean, super cheap, especially if Shannon's gone.
Yeah. Dominic Daphne.
I think he'll stay because Barcedes might not be back. He's used to the room.
Now, two big ones that might not be massive names, but everyone knows who they are. Could also somewhat change Rodgers' future. Alan Lazard and MVS.
You got to think Lazard's coming back. He played so well this year.
I sure hope so.
In an MVS, I don't.
I hope they both come back. MVS has had a lot of injuries the last 2 years, but I did see. You know, here's one weird thing. I saw like a weird stat that Green Bay averaged 30 with him and 24 without him. And I don't think MVS is a 6. Well, I don't think anyone will say MVS is a 6-point difference in a game. because like even against the 49ers week 3, he only had one catch for like 42 yards or something, but it was a big catch.
Right.
But I mean, at the end of the day, he could have been the difference also because he blows the
One
top
play.
off. One play can make all the difference.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You're hoping Lazard's back. MVS, I mean, he's been better this year than he was last year at the start. You know, last year he was in our
too injury prone, honestly. Just been too injury prone. It sucks.
Chauncey Rivers, D tackle. I guess you just don't know. Yash Nijman.
He's back. Gotta be.
And then Kurt Benkert.
He'll be back because Jordan Love will be traded, and Kurt will probably be the backup.
Yeah. So, I mean, those are the guys you're losing. I mean, the big highlights are not losing, but, you know, got to see where they go. Devontae Adams, Tunyon, Devondre Campbell, a couple linemen, and then Alan Lazard and MVS. So, yeah. I mean, obviously Devontae Adams is the big name, but you're talking about 3 other guys that catch the ball from 5 guys that actually catch the ball from Rodgers. I mean, really, because Cobb might not be back either. I mean, you're talking about that whole wide receiver room is, besides Amari Rodgers, really, might not be there.
Yeah, so. I get it. It hurts. It sucks. But as John said earlier, every team in the NFL besides the Patriots or Steelers would probably trade for our team's success over the last 20 years. So, yeah, it sucks last night, but it is what it is. Can we tag Adams? Yes, they can, and that's apparently become a legit option. Which I don't know. I don't know.
Here's another thing too. They were saying it was like I was reading last night. It's like, well, if Rodgers is gone, do you pay top dollar for Adams? Because then what's his worth? And then do you go into a rebuild? It's really hard for me to say Green Bay going into a rebuild without, just because Rodgers is gone, although he makes a massive difference, because you still have the Jaires, the Bakhtiaris, the Kenny.
Jones,
I mean, you've got like literally some of the better players in the NFL, and it's just really hard to just, you know what I mean.
I'm with you. Before we close it down here, let's chat some special teams. Block field goal, block punt for a touchdown, multiple kickoffs. We gave up huge returns. 10 men on the effing field when they hit the game-winning kick.
I forgot about that, dude.
All of this is just unacceptable. What needs to happen to our special teams unit this offseason in order for this stuff to just go away?
Isaac, I don't know if you saw the tweet last night, but Isaac Yadin, he said, like, don't blame it all on Coach Drayton. You know, players got to execute. And he's 100% correct. But it's like, dude, 10 guys – 10 guys being on the field on that last maybe a player should have been on that wasn't on there, but why does the coach that's coaching?
How are you not counting? Like, I wonder if it was Darnell Savage that was supposed to be out there and then his replacement was supposed to be. I'm trying to figure out who was supposed to be out there that wasn't. Like, who fudged up?
Yeah,
because Darnell obviously was out.
Well, and then if you look at the blocked plays too, Tyler Lancaster just missing the inside block. Dude, I teach kids starting in junior high that, and at our camps in the summer, we teach 5th, 6th graders, 7th graders that you block inside out. Right. I mean, come on, dude. Like, what in the hell is that? That's disgusting. And then the blocked punt, we had 8 guys, and they had 5 on the line. And we couldn't block 5 with 8? I mean, we had double teams set up for, like, everything. Like, what is –
Yeah. I think it needs a complete rehaul, obviously, from coach to guys executing on their jobs and assignments, and then how they go about teaching that in practice, because obviously whatever they're doing now, it doesn't work.
I don't understand how you have 8 guys – and then 5, like, you can't block 5 with 8.
Yeah, it was atrocious on the punt. Yeah, Nick, it was just super unfortunate. Then the guys looking around they weren't even looking around for the ball; they're just standing there and say, "Hey," like, everyone in the stadium heard the blocked punt. Get your head on the swivel, looked around. Like,
the last. I mean, it started.
You're up 10-3 with 5 minutes left with the ball, and you end up losing. Like
it almost started off okay. The special teams, Mason Crosby, the first few games of the year, he hit every field goal, right? Remember, he had made like 20 in a row.
Then
And
collapsed.
all of a sudden, he collapsed. And then we're letting field goals get blocked, letting this happen, letting that happen, and then you go over and it starts to get better, right? He's making every field goal, every extra points down the middle, and blah blah blah. And then we start to regress back to this, and then we started mid-season, late season. Corey Bojorquez would hit one bad punt a game too that would kill us, and it's just like it all built up. And we had that catastrophic game 2 weeks ago, and then this it ended it. And I know people want to argue to the end that the offense has got to score more. Absolutely, but at the end of the day, that's not how the game was going.
Right.
It's not like one little miscue here. I mean, like those were basics that we couldn't block up and scheme, and that's player execution a little bit. But that's more coaching. That's got. I mean, it was a full year problem. So, we talk about how well they built the roster, how good Gutekunst built the roster. Well, either he didn't build a good back end, or the coaching was terrible. So, it's a
little bit mix of both, honestly. Any last words here before we close it down? Anything you want to say about this season?
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid looking at Twitter and Facebook. All that is just toxic idiots there. People. The thing is that Aaron Rodgers takes the most hate on Twitter besides LeBron James.
Right, that's a fact.
So at the end of the day, and whatever a lot of people can argue that he's earned that with the way he says stuff and does stuff and blah blah blah. But it's just like going on the internet right now. It just doesn't do you any good. All you're gonna get the hate is, he didn't get it done. I'm sorry, but what he can control sometimes, I've said it too, unless he is Superman and does way more than what's asked of the quarterback position. Look at the quarterback performances yesterday. Ryan Tannehill was awful. He threw those bad picks. Joe Burrow, was
Jimmy Garoppolo was terrible.
And Garoppolo was not good at all. So talk your shit on the 4-time MVP. He didn't show up the greatest. Didn't have his greatest game. He made some bad reads, but dude, the special team. I'm sorry, just the special teams.
Yeah. No, that's that.
It was a problem all year. It was a problem all year. And it never got fixed, ever.
Same old story. And then it came back to bite us in the ass. We talked about it almost every Pat Casual. Like, it's going to cost us a game, and hopefully it's not in the playoffs, and it costs us this game 100%. So it just sucks, man. You lose 3 times all year besides the last game against the Lions that didn't count. And you're undefeated at home. You need 2 wins at home to go to the Super Bowl, and you lose out right away in that heartbreaking fashion. It's just – regardless. All right, Nick, Packers fan, regardless, go Pack, go. On to the offseason. I'm right there with you, Nick.
We're still going to be – Rob and I are going to still be here.
We'll be here, baby.
We're not going anywhere.
You won't be missing much of us.
Regardless of Rodgers or Adams not being here.
We'll be here.
But it'll be interesting to once again see – I think there'll probably be less drama this offseason than there was last season.
I think Rodgers is going to kind of, like you said multiple times, I'm going to make my decision, and it's going to be – I'm not going to drag it out. We're going to know here probably the next few weeks.
The drama that is going to be created will be probably because the media needs stories to write. It's going to continue to be one of those things that they just want to kill him in the media, and he might not even be saying anything.
Yeah, that's how it works.
But they just want that. You got to have guys like him and LeBron James to dog to make stories to make money. So is what it is. Hey, it's a good thing. Hey, if you're being talked about that much, and you know what,
right?
You're doing something right. But regardless, if Rodgers is with us next year or not, we're still going to be here. It just our expectations might be a little bit lower, but at this point, I don't know. I guess I don't know what expectations are anymore. It's just 3 straight years of having good teams and
home field, all this stuff. All right, John. Let's close it down. Thank you to everybody watching, commenting. Thanks for all your support all year long. We've had a blast talking Packers football with you. This one's going to sting for a while. It hurts, but we're in for a crazy offseason. So, like John just said, you won't be missing us too much as we'll be active, as active as ever. Tough ending, but I will always be thankful that I'm a fan of the Green Bay Packers. That's just facts. So, with that said, John, for you and myself, we will catch you guys later. We'll be back on, I don't know, maybe sometime later this week. Try to get back on maybe once or twice a month just to kind of recap things. Maybe a little more, depending on what's going on. We'll find out about Rodgers here the next few weeks and Adams, all these guys. We'll figure something out. So, all right, for John and myself, we will catch you guys later. Thank you.